Social media is the brothel of the soul. We live in a time when noise has become synonymous with truth, appearance has become wisdom, and the number of followers determines who is heard or ignored. And that's why, if Plato were among us, he wouldn't think twice. He'd ban social media without blinking. Not as a grim dictator, but as a doctor pulling poison from the body before it reaches the heart. And as harsh as that sounds, he might be right. Don't tune out now. This is more urgent than it seems. Imagine a man trapped in a cave since birth. He only sees shadows projected on a wall, believing that's reality. Now imagine that man is you, endlessly scrolling through Instagram or TikTok feeds, seeing the world through the eyes of algorithms. Plato called this the allegory of the cave. And what are social media platforms if not modern caves, glowing? Screens with filtered shadows of reality, keeping us comfortable in ignorance. The problem is that inside this digital cave, we forget how to think. To really think. To think deeply, quietly, with doubts. Social media offers us certainties packaged in 15-second videos. Plato would fear this because he believed truth requires effort. Wisdom isn't found in posts with background music and catchy phrases. That's foam, not the sea. And why? Because social media doesn't educate us. It conditions us. Like dogs waiting for treats, we react to likes, comments, and shares. It's the so-called instant gratification, the opposite of what Plato valued. Self-control, the discipline of the soul. A mind addicted to notifications is a soul enslaved by base stimuli. Plato argued that education should shape character. But what shapes our character today? The algorithm, an invisible code that dictates what we see, feel, and even think. Do you really choose what you consume? Or are you just reacting to what's pushed on you? For Plato, this would be a scandal, the surrender of free will to the attention machine. It's not just about wasted time, it's about a lost soul. Social media creates personas, avatars, counterfeit versions of who we are. We live to be seen, not to be. And when appearance dominates being, justice, which Plato saw as harmony among the soul's parts, falls apart. The soul collapses. Now, look around. How many people are truly at peace? How many can go a day without checking if they've been noticed? We live in a theater of vanities, and the stage is infinite. Plato didn't want everyone to be philosophers, but for everyone to seek truth. And that, my friend, requires silence, solitude, and courage. Courage to face yourself without filters. Courage to admit you're lost. Courage to leave the cave. But who wants to leave when there's Wi-Fi, memes, and instant validation inside? Comfort numbs. And Plato knew that truth, when it appears, hurts, but only it liberates. And perhaps that's why he'd be merciless with social media, because it keeps us like spoiled children. And an infantilized people is easy to control, easy to distract, easy to manipulate. Here's the darkest part. The owners of the modern cave know this, and they profit from your stay inside. Leaving the cave today isn't about looking at the sun. It's about silencing notifications. It's about reading an entire book without skipping pages. It's about being bored and not opening your phone. It seems small, but it's revolutionary. It's an act of resistance against a culture that profits from your distraction. Plato would call this an exercise of the soul. He believed the soul has parts, desire, emotion, and reason, and that a just life is one where reason governs. Today, desire rules, emotion screams, and reason sleeps. And no one wants to wake it, because it would force us to see what we're becoming. And perhaps that's what Plato would fear most, the forgetting of who we are. If Plato would ban social media, it wouldn't be out of whim or fear of the new. It would be out of love for truth, because he saw truth as something you seek with effort, with the sweat of the soul. You don't find truth in fast-paced videos, catchy phrases, or posts polished with filters. Truth isn't entertaining, it's demanding, and for that very reason, it's liberating. Today, many prefer a comfortable lie to an uncomfortable truth. They prefer living in shadows to facing the light. And the light, for Plato, was the ultimate good, the thing that gives meaning to existence. But on social media, the good is traded for engagement. Value is traded for visibility. Virtue is traded for performance. And that comes with an invisible cost. The soul starts to fade. It becomes as shallow as the content it consumes. It forgets how to live without showing off, without comparing, without competing. Plato warned, when the soul doesn't govern, chaos takes over. And maybe you feel it. That inner mess that more content can't fix, only silence can. And silence, silence, it's the rarest thing today. Because silence demands that we hear what really matters, our conscience. But social media is too noisy. It drowns out that inner call, keeps us busy, distracted, restless. Deep thought doesn't survive in that. The soul screams, but we don't even hear it. Getting out of this takes more than deleting an app. It takes wanting truth more than likes. It takes embracing slowness, boredom, doubt. It takes stopping the performance and starting to be. And that's hard, because we've been taught to measure ourselves by others' eyes. Unlearning that is almost like being reborn. But Plato believed it was possible. He said all knowledge is, in fact, a remembrance. The soul already knows. It just needs to be awakened. And maybe that's what this video is trying to do for you. Wake you up. Not to accuse you, but to remind you that you're more than a profile, more than a feed, more than a number. You are a soul, and your soul thirsts for truth, thirsts for meaning, thirsts for something social media can't offer, because they sell distraction, not meaning. They sell digital presence, not real presence. They sell connection, but not communion. And you know the difference. Deep down, you know. And if you know, maybe it's time to make different choices. Not radical ones, but conscious ones. To use social media without being used by it. To choose what enters your mind like you choose what you eat. Plato saw the education of the soul as something sacred. And today, that depends on small daily decisions. It's not about being against technology. It's about not being dominated by it. It's not about nostalgia, it's about clarity. The world changes, yes, but the soul remains the same, and it still needs the same things: truth, beauty, goodness. Not likes, not views, not digital validation. That's just noise. In the end, Plato's invitation still stands. Leave the cave, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Look at the light, even if it hurts, even if it stings. Because that's the only way the soul grows stronger. That's the only way it finds peace. Not a peace made of external silence, but of inner harmony. And that peace, no social media can give you. It comes from encountering what's real, what's eternal, what's true. And that, my friend, no notification will remind you of. But maybe, just maybe, this video did. If you liked the video, consider subscribing to the channel and sharing your thoughts in the comments.